Hello everyone. Today I'm going to try to establish a point that overqualification may actually be your weak point. I'm going to say this from my perspective. Okay. A few months ago, I worked for Novodot Publications. They sacked me. Then I started working at a coaching center, the famous one, at hourly rate basis. But here too, I think they are going to get rid of me within a short span of time. They already told me yesterday that we shall let you know, we shall update you later. It means they didn't mention the next work, they just mentioned we will update you later. That means if I contact them, then there are two things they could be saying. Probably, number one is that, bro, you have almost edited all of our books, so there are no books left for you to edit. So we have no further work for you. We don't have any personal beef with you. We like you, but we cannot give you any work. So please find work somewhere else. And number two, they could be saying that, bro, we're not exactly happy at your work quality. Why would be they would be saying that? Because I have edited their physics books from class 9. I started with class 9, then class 6, also class 7 and 8, and intermediate books, not fully, but also 60 to 70%. They do not have any work. This point is not true because I also know how to edit math books. So if they were good willing, they could have transferred me to the math department, but I guess they are not going to do that because at the math department there are even more books and more works available. They might want to get rid of me because it's because of the syndicate of teachers they have. The famous ones who take classes and they are good looking, and that coaching center cannot possibly get rid of those people. If they need to get rid of someone, it's me, because they need those teachers to take classes. Okay, so and they previously wrote those books, edited those books, and not everything was wrong. Most of them were correct. Correction level is 90%, but there were some silly mistakes which I found and I corrected them. And if those teachers, the corrections that I made, they were later checked by those teachers, the same teachers, so they will not fully confess that these were actual corrections. They would be saying that Mr. Jakir actually did not understand it properly. That's why he has made these wrong corrections. These are not applicable. So they will most possibly keep a little of them, like 20 to 30%, and they may neglect the rest of it, almost 70%. That's why even after they have paid me for all the work that I did, their books are still flawed. They are not flawless. Okay, that's because, yes, I do not demand that. Actually, whatever corrections I made, they were all 100% legal. I do not claim that, but most of them, I'm confident that 90%, 95% of them were okay. They were really applicable and true corrections, but the rest 5% may not have been. But those teachers, I am sure, although I don't know what is going in the background, because once I submit a particular book, I do not know what review or grade I get. Because it is the same teachers who put the wrong, what I should say, idea, and wrong. Actually, my son out there, younger son, he is crying over there because I am outside and he does not see me. That's why I cannot fully concentrate and I am fumbling. Although I am not 100% fluent, but I am confident enough anyway. So those teachers who wrote the book with the wrong conceptions and ideas, and they are the ones to check whether I made the right corrections. And since everything is going on without my knowledge, I'm darkness, what grade they are going to give me on my editing, I guess they will not give me good grades, because if they do, then they have to confess their faults. So this is why I'm once again going to lose my job, because if I continue here, those teachers will be humiliated. What sort of wrong info and misconceptions they came up with in the first place? Okay, and this is the same reason I lost my job at Novadut, because Novadut in the math department, they hired mainly the, what should I say, the National University people. There was one Muetian woman, May, and her name starts with this, and her last name is Raha. So maybe some of you know her. And I did not exactly pronounce the full name again. And there's also another person from Chuet. He's also mechanical engineer. In spite of these two people, actually, the math department is, a hostel is being hostess by a certain individual from National University, and he wants to claim that he knows math more than Boetians. So whatever mistake, previously there were no Boetians or engineers at that there, only National University people. Whatever math they solved in the first place with the wrong conceptions, or maybe they also copied from other books like Adil Brothers and Panjari publications. They adopted some changes, but those changes are not for the good but for the better. Let me give you an example. There's a math in proportion and ratio chapter, general math, class 9-10. It's not in the main exercises, but previous to that, and it's about area. So in the Adil brothers, they have assumed that, let us assume it is a comparison between two rectangular lands, and the Adil brothers assume that the ratio between the lengths and the breadths are given. Adil brothers assume that the common factor for length and also for the breadth, let us assume they are, in both cases it is the same factor. But in Novadut they did not even assume, they simply bluntly wrote it. It is the same factor. So the Adil brothers solution to this cause or work problem, it was not correct. The correct solution was in Panjari, and in Novadut book it is even worse, because they did not even assume, they took it for granted. So this sort of one, they did a lot of copying. Okay, so since the math department is being hostess to that certain individual, when other National University people left, we Boetians, I was, and that mechanical, the rest of the two engineers, mechanical engineers, one is from Buet, I just partially mentioned her name, and the another is from Kuwait. Okay, they were also kind of hostess, or they bowed to him, because they were 100%, the Kuwait person, he is like 56 years old, he is burdened with so many health problems, he cannot get into argument. But that person who is taking the department as a hostess, and also the engineer, their districts are side by side. So they are kind of, Deshi people, they have a lot of sympathy towards each other. So that's why the one reason is that person is very old. Number two reason is they are kind of Deshi people. That's why that person has also bowed to the National University guy. Okay, and the engineer with mechanical, the female, she also did the same thing. That's why you open the latest test paper for SSC math and higher math, and also the model, I mean class 9 books, you find the same mistakes that were there since the last 5 or 6 years. I made the corrections, but those corrections did not come into the new edition, because they were overthrown, not overthrown, it's simply thrown by the National University guy. Okay, I do not mention his name because that would be inappropriate. And since he is a proofreader, basically a proofreader who matches one person to the other, whether the corrections have properly come, and the authority, they think they cannot find his replacement, so they have chosen to be hosted by them. Okay, so this is the reason why I am losing my job over and over, because I'm overqualified when it comes to writing and editing textbooks and guidebooks, because in this particular industry I am simply one of those best in the business. There was another guy who was even better than me. It is from intermediate batch 2003. His name is Atikur Rahman Jordar or something like that, CSE department, Buet. But he later quit the industry, and he probably got involved in printing business or that. So then I am left, and currently I am almost like the best in the business. And because of the overqualifications, people who came up with so many wrong ideas in the books while writing and editing, they get humiliated, they feel humiliated, and that's why they are making a syndicate to get rid of me over and over. So that's all, guys. Thank you very much for your time.